Who is this? Yes, hello, this is NATO. NATO who? NATO is going to bring democracy and freedom to you, loser. What? Why hello there, internet people. Let me ask you a few questions. Does your country have a naughty neighbor? Is your neutrality putting you at risk? Do you need friends with big weapons? Well, don't you worry, because NATO is here for you. Or NATO, I'm not actually sure how it's pronounced. All European countries are free to join. Submit your membership today, and hopefully the NATO boys will reach an unanimous decision. If somebody has an itch in their bum that day, no problem. Nothing a bit of good old diplomacy cannot fix. Wait a second. What is this NATO, and why should we join? Haha! Shut the fuck up, I'm getting there. Now all of you be good little boys and listen to my history summary carefully. In the beginning, that's 1949 for you, the North Atlantic Treaty was signed by the 12 founding members, establishing the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, an intergovernmental military alliance that seeks to establish closer ties between North America and Europe, create a collective defense system, and protect human rights, freedom, and all that stuff. This is all on paper. In reality, at least originally, the purpose of NATO was to A. Establish an American foothold in Europe, B. Preventing Germany from doing anything stupid again. By the way, Germany joined NATO just 10 years after the end of the Second World War, meaning that there were generals in the alliance with, let's just say, questionable former allegiances. C. Containing the Reds. The last one was the basis for the Cold War. I've talked about the Cold War previously on this channel, and as you know, probably, it's called the Cold War because it never got hot. That's because NATO and the USSR never actually fought each other. Furthermore, NATO as an alliance did not engage in any military operations during this period. I guess the idea was that the existence of one side would deter the other from, destroying the world. I just got the perfect analogy for describing the Cold War. Think of a chess game between the United States and the Soviet Union. Now replace the chess pieces with neutral countries. What's the new regime of this country gonna be? A liberal democracy? Or a one-party socialist state? Oh, it's a military dictatorship. Whoops! Eventually, the Soviet Union lost and it disintegrated. Mission accomplished? So, I guess now NATO has no reason to exist anymore, right? Especially if you consider that the EU is doing a better job at keeping Europe peaceful than NATO at this point. The only logical conclusion at this point is for the Alliance to formally cease their operations.
Objection!
Wrong! The Alliance not only did not stop, but they also went completely ape mode. Mr. Worldwide, more like Mr. Worldwide Police. We will defend ourselves, but also we will defend yourselves. Now I'm not gonna sit here and say whether this is a good thing or not. That's for you to decide in the comments. I'm only here to educate. So I will educate you, potential candidate, on how NATO works. What you need to do for the Alliance and what the Alliance has to do for you. If you were paying attention previously, you know that NATO was established by a treaty signed in Washington, D.C. This treaty has articles on it, with sentences. These sentences tell us all we need to know about NATO.
NATO-OTAN article time.
Article 1. Member parties settle any international disputes in which they may be involved by peaceful manners. Hear that, you two? Peaceful. Article 2. The parties will contribute toward the further development of peaceful and friendly international relations by strengthening their free institutions by blah 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 blah. Article 3. The parties will maintain and develop their individual and collective capacity to resist an armed attack. As such, every member has to spend 2% of their GDP on defense. That's not a lot. Can't be that hard to... Article 4. Consultation over military matters when the territorial integrity, political independence or security of any of the parties is threatened. The issue is discussed in the North Atlantic Council and can lead into a joint decision or action on behalf of the Alliance. It has been called a total of 7 times, twice because of an old adversary and 5 times because... Turkey. Article 5. An attack on one member state is an attack on all member states. Truly, one of the articles of all time. When this article gets activated, all members of the alliance, so 32 now, 33, have to send troops and weapons of mass destruction to build an army and defend the alliance from evil. As was the case in 2001, when America made a blunder and lost 2 of its towers. Unfortunately, America did not know who they were playing against, because they dragged their asses to a country that thinks that the tower is 2 rocks stacked on top of each other. Good thing we all were against the second one, or else mistakes would be made. Spelling mistakes, that is.
Of Ukraine.
Okay, let's be a bit transparent here. NATO has done some weird things in the past, but just because one side has done something silly doesn't give the right to the other side to do something even sillier. But then again, that's the world we live in. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Actually hate both, we are run by lobotomites. I got sidetracked. Join NATO now, if you want to of course, to get free NATO drip and a seat at the headquarters in Belgium. If you're still not convinced, look, cool fighter jet edit. Whoa, jets. Vroom.